Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is the Inspiration Show. Today on the show I actually have a very good friend of mine joining me. He is an amazing photographer. He has been doing this for many, many years now. It is his life's passion. And he's photographed people like Sir Paul McCartney and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And today we're going to be talking about his latest book. It's called The Evolution of Love, which has been, I think, a 25-year odyssey into really capturing what love is and what that looks like. But before I introduce my special guest, I just want to remind you that after the show is over, if you are watching this show live on Facebook or on our YouTube channel afterwards, make sure you click the link below the video so you can take my 30-second quiz so we can figure out what's holding you back from success. So please let me introduce my very good friend, Carl Studna. How are you, Carl?
Oh, I'm doing great, Natalie. It's so great to be with you today.
Yeah, Carl and I were actually together a few weeks ago in Hawaii at a conference and of transformational leaders, and he was telling me about this project. I'm like, we have to share this with the world and with our community because it is such a beautiful, loving capture of what love can really be and what the potential of love that we can create for ourselves. But before we get into talking about the book and your little project, why don't we talk about you a little bit? So what's your story? Like how, what led you up to, the work that you do now?
Well, I could spend all day talking about that. But being succinct, photography has been my passion since I was in high school. And from that point forward, I've always used it as a vehicle to share greater dimensions of what I see in life. And as I've grown and matured, I've used photography as a vehicle for really reflecting light, both in nature and with people and with everything that I see. So it's the greatest gift that I could give, and I couldn't be more thrilled. It's almost been a 40-year career in having this as a way to share, and so people can really catch the fullness of their light, their inner light, the beauty of light around us.
Yeah, absolutely. So the evolution of love. Tell us a little bit about how you got the idea and what this book is all about.
Okay, well, actually, there are two answers, and I'll give you the obvious one first. The obvious one was that I was sitting in a hot tub with Kenny Loggins, and he had the idea.
Right.
so he presented me with the idea. It was years ago, and he was in this love zone, and he thought it would be a great idea. And I slept on it and said, yes, I got it. I caught the vision. The other answer, I think, is also accurate, is that I had been out of a painful marriage for many years. I was not having success with relationships, and something in me, I think, stirred when he mentioned this project, and I think I caught on a deeper level, without even knowing it consciously, I caught that if I do this project and fully immerse myself in it, I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to learn a lot from these couples, and it's going to help me to bring in the relationship of my dreams, which came forward about 2 years after starting the project.
Right. And so tell me about the book itself. I know that a lot of your photography is included in the book, but not just that. You actually have included a lot of the stories of the couples. So how did that come about?
Well, the initial thought was mainly focused on photographing the couples and their deep love for each other through their eyes and their connection. And the pictures are very intimate. They're very real and intimate photographs. And these couples let me into the sanctuary of their homes, into their bedrooms, in order to really capture the authenticity of all the passion, the openness, the tenderness, everything about their love. And then it became clear in being with the couples, I wanted to bring in greater dimensions. So I started initially asking them certain questions, like, what's the greatest gift you could give and receive from your partner? How do you deepen in trust? Questions like that. And then the questions got deeper. And then some of the couples I ended up checking back with 2, 3, 5 years later. And some of them had given birth. I was at the birth of one of the couples. So I really followed a real arc from their young love to her being pregnant and giving birth. one of the older couples, he passed away, and I went to do another interview with Carla once he had passed, and how she was managing having a whole lifetime with Walter, and how she was moving forward from there and the lessons that she was learning. So every couple, I started to recognize, really had their own very, very unique story. But there were certain commonalities about all of them that were sort of jewels, gems that we could pull on, that I think all of us could really learn from to grow in strengthen in partnership.
Right. I was about to say, was there a common thread with the stories? Can you share, one or two of those gems?
Mm-hmm. Well, the greatest, I'd say, commonality that all the couples talk about and share in one form or another is how they deepen in their trust for each other.
Mm.
And I know personally from my own relationship, I've been together with my wife, Cynthia, for 23 years. And I'm always seeing how I can go deeper in trusting. Always. I think that it's easy to have this illusion, that, well, when it's right, when you're soulmates, you just know each other and it all is like this and everything's always, perfect from that point forward, which is such an illusion. And that what I continue to learn, and what I learned from all the couples, is that love is ever evolving. And the trust that anchors the love is ever evolving. So each couple would share in their own way practices that they learned how to deepen in their trust, how to deepen in their surrender with each other, to fully open and to listen to each other, and to grow in their intimacy with each other.
Yeah. Well, that's it, and I've always said from a very young age, I've always said that without trust, you can't have love, because they seem to be so, completely connected. So, what was one of the biggest things that you learned, that you thought was like, wow, that kind of blew my mind, or I didn't expect that? What's one of those experiences you had from this journey?
Yeah. With the eldest couple, Carl and Walter, that I was talking about before, one of the things I learned from them was, because I'd be with them and they'd be bickering at times. They had this deep love for each other, but they'd be, going back and forth at times. And I'd think, they're working that out in some way, and they wrote about that actually in the book, that it's okay to have differences, and it's okay with them. They don't feel threatened. They don't feel like something's wrong if they don't see things in the same way, or if sometimes they react. But that said, there always needed to be the consciousness, if there was anything that's ever said that is unkind or unthoughtful, to take the responsibility to clean that up. So it gave me, I think, a greater sense of freedom to know that, it's okay when I get reacted, and it's okay when I respond sometimes from, a frustrated place, or a place where I don't feel like I'm being heard. And all of that's okay, as long as I continue to stay in there and be open, and then have dialogue about something if I'm holding on to it.
Mm. And when we commonalities of the threads in the stories, do you find that young love seems to be fairly common, and then it evolves into something different?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, one of the couples in the book, Shinzo and Mano, they sort of represented young love when I photographed my time with them. And they were just in this, it was true, it was authentic, but they were in such a love zone, like, like gazing into each other's eyes, and, and being so open and so trusting and so giving and receiving with each other. And they were practicing the art of Tantra together. And so fast forward, like 3-4 years later, I interview with them, and they were no longer together. They're the one couple in the book that represents conscious uncoupling. And they grew a lot, because at the time that I photographed them, I think he had just moved in with her, or was just about to, on the island of Maui. And so in the course of 2, 3, 4 years, when I saw them next, they had lived together, gone through the day-to-day things of him being with living with her, all the responsibilities that takes, she having two young children, and they recognized that it wasn't a fit for them, and they eventually grew apart, but maintained the love and the connection and the friendship. And when I saw them the second time and did the second interview after this time had passed, it was very clear I could see a greater wisdom with both of them. Individually, as far as how they'd grown from the experience, and a greater wisdom of the depth of love that they had for the other, even though they weren't together any longer. So I do believe that if we stay open, and and this is the thing that another jewel I got from the couples, that it has to be mutual. You know, if you've got a goal of growing and having a conscious partnership, it's got to be mutual. Because if it's not, you know, you're going to be going like this, you know, with the other partner, and we keep trying, and it has to be like that. So, so the mutuality is necessary, and I'm not sure the thread I was on there, but I was on a certain tangent, I was on a certain thread, and then it went off. Anyway, they really represented that depth of connection and dimension that it takes when you grow over time. I came back. I just followed the thread of that. So over time, if it's mutual and we have the mutual willingness to stay open and be devoted and stay in there in the scary times, and we're both going in the same direction, then you can grow independently and individually. I mean, sorry, independently and as a couple. You can grow. And I think that's another key thing, is learning how to really recognize and honor our individuality, but also honor the merging of the relationship, and because they're both their own entities in a certain way.
Yeah. And for me, I mean, I'm not sure if you know my personal story, but, you know, my husband and I were married for 18 years, and we separated about 4.5 years ago. We're still business partners. We're still best of friends. And we have as much love and respect for each other than we've ever had. We're just not meant to be together anymore. And we could both recognize that, you know, and it was a mutual decision. So we were able to get to that place and then transition into something different, you know, which is awesome. But everything that you were saying there about, you know, being able to change together. And I think too, what my personal experience was, is that I kind of lost myself. I mean, I think it's not only should we be, you know, respecting the individuality of our partner, but I think we need to maintain that, because sometimes you become this unit where it's just the two of you, and then you kind of don't know who you are anymore. And I think women especially, we sort of fall into these roles of being wives and mothers and, you know, career and whatever, that we kind of lose the touch of who we really are and that individuality. It's great. So.
Absolutely. And it's such a dance, you know, it's such a dance in doing that, because my wife, Cynthia, is a very strong, independent woman. And so,
got it. So, I love your wife.
So, and I love that about her, you know, so it's that dance, you know, of being independent and honoring that independence, honoring each of us doing our own thing, and then so cherishing those times when we're together and the things that we can offer together as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And you know, with your book, The Evolution of Love, I think there's so many, it's not just, you know, the stories and the insights and things that you can get from that, but I think that you've covered all types of couples. So it doesn't matter who you are, you will identify with at least one or a few of the couples in the book. Yeah, so
absolutely.
Yeah, so you have like young people. Tell us the range of couples that you've interviewed.
Sure. Yeah, I've got young blossoming love. I've got a couple that have been together over 50 years. A couple that were together probably a total of 47 years, but after 27 years, decided to completely redefine their relationship so that they could continue to grow together and expand. Got 2 same-sex couples, a male and female couple. Got a couple there where the woman was significantly older. She was pregnant and going through a birth. Another couple I followed through their birthing process, from their young love to motherhood, well, to pregnancy, and then following the birth of their child. I did my best to get as much diversity and ethnicity as possible, just to show so as many people as possible could relate to this, because I just feel like when you pick this book up, you can feel the energy of it. You can feel the heart and the love and the juice. It's got a lot of juice to it, and it has the potential to really open our hearts and to heal, I think, in very deep ways.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's just stunning. And like I said, it's just a testament to love is infinite, but this shows the many faces that love has, of all ages. It's fantastic. So, Carl, where can we send people if they want to connect with you, if they want to get their hands on the book?
Yes, you can go to the URL evolutionofloving.com. So it's evolutionofloving.com, and there's a landing page there that has everything you'd want to know, and then a click for clicking onto Amazon, and so you can buy the book right now in pre-sales. And then after that, the launch date is March 6th.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, Carl, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your love with me and our community. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always, to chat to you.
Oh, I've loved our time, Natalie. It's been very connecting.
Wonderful. Now, guys, I encourage you to share this video. Please, let's get the word out. You can do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on the page. I also encourage you to click either on the banner to the side or the link underneath the video, so you can go directly through to Carl's website, so you can learn all about the book and this amazing project. And don't forget that after the show's over, the link underneath that, take my 30-second quiz so we can figure out what's holding you back from success. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.